Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. Easy, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase. Yes, it does come with a fun Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15, like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more, or click the URL in the video description below. Also, having the first Q&A live stream ever. It's going to be Saturday. It's going to be February 22nd at 6 p.m. Central Time, as we call it Texas time. Lastly, trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Porsche pivoting back to the glorious internal combustion engine. Thank God there's finally some more and more good automotive news after years of governments oppressively neutering car companies left and right, forcing them to make unprofitable EVs and anemic, boring small cars with less horsepower than a lawnmower or my Honda Civic, which is saying something. Now, this comes to us thanks to Motor1.com, specifically Chris Smith, who's right over there. He says, quote, Porsche pivoting back to combustion, it will cost them dearly, but you can't put a price on freedom. Though you also probably should have had some backbone and told Germany, like, hey, why don't you stick up for your one of the most beautiful, great things about your country is Porsche, well, the whole Volkswagen group. Why don't you stick up for us against those bullies in the EU that are saying we need to stop making fun things and let China take over with EV mandates? But I partially digress. They say, quote, the company's 2025 forecast includes significant additional expenditures to focus more on combustion and hybrid technologies, which, although I'm not a fan of hybrids, it is one of the fastest growing adoption segments in terms of vehicle technologies, especially in the United States. Now, I don't know who's in charge of editing this article, if it was Chris Smith himself, but it's a little disappointing they have the Porsche SUV being shown here. Though it is a nice green. I mean, it's been decades since they made a proper SUV with a stick shift, which, again, if I ever had the privilege of having a family, my friends joke with me saying, Topping, you're going to need an SUV, in which I would say, well, it has to have 3 pedals, not many options. Believe it or not, Porsche in around 2008, 2009 had the Cayenne GTS. So it's a stick shift SUV with a V8, which, yeah, they're so rare. They still go for like 50 to 60 grand with 100,000 miles on them. But talk about a fun thing. You got an SUV with a V8 Porsche with a stick shift, which, God, if they were to make that again, I mean, that would be so cool. I don't think they're going to go that far. They should, just PR marketing alone would be brilliant. But I partially digress. To me, I think they should have something more iconic like the 911 or the Cayman there, but that's just me. Now, they say, quote, Porsche, like many other automotive companies right now, is taking a hard look at the future and reevaluating its plans. Specifically, that means dialing back the electric push in favor of more combustion power, but it's not that easy as flipping a switch, and it won't come without a price. In Porsche's case, the price... Okay, I'm sorry, let me fix this. Your eyes deserve something more glorious than that Porsche SUV, or me for that matter. There you see a nice Boxster, which still is one of the best bang for your buck. Still a lot of money. It's like $76,000 starting price, which, geez Louise, has many pretty pennies. Let's just say I'll be Honda Civic for a little while longer, to say the least. But yeah, still a great track toy. Now, they say, quote, in Porsche's case, the price could come steep. On February 6th, the company shared some preliminary financial figures for expectations in the coming year. Production expansion and development related to the combustion and hybrid powertrains is forecast to cost $831 million. Mind you, that's just for 2025. That figure could also include costs for, quote, battery activities, ew. So it's not entirely a combustion-only expenditure. That said, the new hybrid vehicles do require batteries for specific platforms, which... A hybrid Porsche? Jeez Louise. I know the Spider's a fancy $100,000 plus car, but yeah, if I'm a Porsche supercar, it's going to be the Carrera GT, the V10 and a stick shift and beautiful analog technology. But I partially digress. I'll try to keep the ADHD in check. No promises, though. They say reversing course back to combustion should see a profit margin fall between 10 and 12%. According to Porsche, the company is forecasting a sales revenue of $40 to $41 billion, which is quite a pretty penny to say the least. Last year, Porsche announced it would continue its V8 production, thank God, for the Cayenne and Panamera beyond 2030, which, I don't know, the kid in me always thinks Panamera and thinks, the Panera Bread Company. I know, obviously, it's different, but I don't know. In terms of marketing, I always thought that was a silly name for Porsche. but nevertheless says they're, moderately popular sedan, and the Cayenne is a big old SUV. Now, Chief Financial Officer Lutz Mitschke, which maybe I got that right, 50-50 chance. Well, no, I won't be that generous, 20% chance. Told Automotive News Europe, the company is further looking into creating hybrid or full combustion versions of vehicles originally slated to be electric only. Porsche's 2025 financial forecast reinforces that statement, which, yeah, even with all that money, it's well worth it. Because again, you make money on gas engines. Most of these companies lose billions. Ford lost $5 billion in fiscal 2024 on EVs. Again, eventually you can make a profit on EVs. The best use case in history would be Tesla, the first major automotive company in history to do that, which is a huge business accomplishment in and of itself. But yeah, a lot of these companies, they're still losing money on EVs. They're, offsetting those losses because of the gas engines. Now they say, quote, the news comes amid struggles with the automaker to get the next generation 9718 dialed in ahead of its planned launch later this year. The new sports car will forego its mid-engine layout to become an EV. Abomination. Again, abomination as well as weakness. Germany, grow a pair. Tell the EU to go to hell. I mean, they literally said they're stopping. They're going to make the Cayman an EV because of EU regulations, specifically around, believe it or not, cybersecurity and emissions and all that crap. Which, again, if you want a fun track toy, you're not going to get an EV because, well, you need it. You only have 12 hours to charge between sessions. Also, they don't have the insurance or the proper fire suppression technologies in most cases for that. And the Cayman is meant for the track. I know there are a lot of pavement queens who never go to the track. It's an abomination in of itself, but it's meant for the track. And an EV will depreciate like a rock and be useless. Yeah, there's a reason my 30-year-old, 20-year-old Porsches are still worth like 20 to 30 grand. A nice Cayman from 2008 is still like 20 to 30 grand. They hold their values pretty well just because long term they're reliable. They're better. Well, I say they're pretty reliable and robust. Not going to be the same thing with an EV. When was the last time you saw someone with a 10-year-old iPhone still working? I rest my case. Now they say, quote, even though we can't help but wondering if plans are already underway for an ICE companion, the new Cayenne EV is also reportedly being delayed, casting doubt on its planned debut in 2026. As for Porsche's best-selling vehicle, the new Macan EV could also gain a combustion and powertrain sooner rather than later. So, some good news for Porsche. I don't know, in terms of, still hope they grow a pair and tell the EU to go to hell and actually keep making the Cayman with an ICE engine like literally every enthusiast except 3 people want. Again, time will tell, but I think this is a good, this news is kind of a good pointing in the right direction, so to say. So we got some good news in the automotive community. And again, SUVs are extremely important for automobile manufacturers. It's one of the most profitable things they make. It's kind of funny to think that, the most iconic Porsche in their lineup is the 911, the sports car. But in terms of volume units sold and revenue, I mean, the SUVs is what they really make their bread and butter with, so to say. And they're a huge volume of business as well. So it'll be interesting to see. I suspect it'll still be the crown jewel of the Volkswagen Group portfolio. But let me know in the comments your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, first live stream Q&A is going to be Saturday, February 22nd, 6 p.m. Texas time, or some people call it Central Time. Thank you again for taking the time to tune in. And don't forget to take the time to like, subscribe, and comment. Actually, give me a thumbs up, or comment. Let me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.